Samuel 2. Chapter 3. The Lord speaks to Samuel. Meanwhile, the boy Samuel served the Lord by assisting Eli. Now in those days, messages from the Lord were very rare, and visions were quite uncommon. One night, Eli, who was almost blind by now, had gone to bed. The lamp of God had not yet gone out, and Samuel was sleeping in the tabernacle near the ark of God. Suddenly the Lord called out to Samuel. Yes, Samuel replied. What is it? He got up and ran to Eli. Here I am. Did you call me? I didn't call you. Eli replied, Go back to bed. So he did. Then the Lord called out again, Samuel. Again Samuel got up and went to Eli. Here I am. Did you call me? I didn't call you. My son, Eli said, Go back to bed. Samuel did not yet. Now the Lord, because he had never had one message from the Lord before, so the Lord called a third time. And once more Samuel got up and went to Eli. Here I am. Did you call me? Then Eli realized it was the Lord who was calling the boy. So he said to Samuel, Go and lie down again. And if someone calls again, say, Speak, Lord. Your servant is listening. So Samuel went back to bed, and the Lord came and called as before, Samuel, Samuel, and Samuel replied, Speak, your servant is listening. Then the Lord said to Samuel, I am about to do a shocking thing in Samuel. I am going to carrying out all my threats against Eli and his family from beginning to end. I have warned him that judgment is coming upon his family forever, because his sons were blaspheming God, and he hasn't disciplined them. So I have vowed that the sins of Eli and his sons will never be forgiven by sacrifices or offerings. Samuel speaks for the Lord. Samuel stayed in bed until morning, then got up and opened the doors of the tabernacle as usual. He was afraid to tell Eli what the Lord had said to him. But Eli called out to him, Samuel, my son. Here I am. Samuel replied, What did the Lord say to you? Tell me everything. And my God strike you and even kill you if you hide anything from me. So Samuel told Eli everything. He didn't hold anything back. It is the Lord's will. Eli replied, Let him do what he thinks best. As Samuel grew up, the Lord was with him, and everything Samuel said proved to be reliable. And all Israel, from Dan in the north to Beersheba in the south, knew that Samuel was confirmed as a prophet of the Lord. The Lord continued to appear at Shiloh and gave message to Samuel that at the tabernacle, and Samuel's words went out to all the people of Israel. The Philistines captured the ark. At the time, Israel was at war with the Philistines. The Israel's army was camped near Ebenezer, and the Philistines were at Aphek. The Philistines attacked and defeated the army of Israel, killing 4,000 men. After the battle was over, the troops retreated to their camp, and the elders of Israel asked, "Why did the Lord allow us to be defeated by the Philistines?" Then they said, "Let's bring the ark of the covenant of the Lord from Shiloh. If we carry it into battle with us, it will save us from our enemies." So they sent men to Shiloh to bring the ark of the covenant of the Lord of heaven's armies, who is enthroned between the cherubim, Hophni and Phinehas. The sons of Eli were also there with the ark of the covenant of God. When all the Israelites saw the ark of the covenant of the Lord coming into the camp, the shout of joy was so loud it made the ground shake. "What's going on?" the Philistines asked. "What's all the shout about in the Hebrew camp?" When they were told it was because the ark of the Lord had arrived, they panicked. "The gods have come into their camp," they cried. "This is a disaster. We have never had to face anything like this people. Help, who can save us from these mighty gods of Israel? There are the same gods who destroyed the Egyptians with plagues when Israel was in the wilderness. Bright as never before. Philistines, if you don't, you will become the Hebrews' slaves just as they have been ours. Stand up like men and fight." So the Philistines fought desperately, and Israel was defeated again. The slaughter was great. 30,000 Israelite soldiers died that day. The Serbians turned and fled to their tents. The ark of God was captured, and Hophni and Phinehas, the two sons of Eli, were killed. Chapter 17. The Philistines now mustered their army for battle and camped between the Soko in Judah and Azekah at Epsidamin. Saul, controlled by gathered his Israel troops near the valley of Ele. So the Philistines and Israel faced each other one opposite hills, with the valley between them. Then Goliath, a Philistine camping from Gath, came out of the Philistine ranks to face the force of Israel. He was over 9 feet tall. He wore a bronze helmet, and his bronze coat of mail weighed 125 pounds. He also wore bronze leg armor, and he carried a bronze javelin on his shoulder. The shaft of his spear was as heavy and thick as a weaver's beam, tipped with one iron spear that weighed 15 pounds. His armor bearer walked ahead of him carrying a shield. Goliath stood and shouted what thought across to the Israelites. "Why are you coming out to fight?" he called. "I am the Philistine camping, but you are only the servants of the Saul. Choose one man to come down here and fight me. If he kills me, then we will be your slaves. But if I kill him, you will be our slaves. I defeated the armies of Israel today. Send me a man who will fight me." When Saul and the Israelites heard this, they were terrified and deeply shaken. Jesus sends David to Saul's camp. Now David was the son of a man named Jesus, and a paralytic from the Bethlehem in the land of Judah. Jesse was one old man at the time, and he had 8 sons. Jesse's 3 oldest sons, Eliab, Abinadab, and Shimei, had already joined Saul's army to fight the Philistines. David was the youngest son. David's 3 oldest brothers stayed with Samuel's army, but David went back and forth so he could help his father with the sleep in Bethlehem. For 40 days, every morning and evening, the Philistine champion struggled in front of the Israelite army. One day, Jesus said to David, "Take this basket of roast grain and these 10 loaves of bread, and carry them quickly to your brothers, and give these 10 cuts of cheese to their captain. See how your brothers are getting along, and bring back a report on how they are doing." David's brothers were with Samuel and the Israelite army at the valley of Elah, fighting against the Philistines. So David left the sleep with another shepherd and set out early the next morning with the gifts, as Jesse had directed him. He arrived at the camp just as the Israelite army was leaving for the battlefield with shouts and battle cries. So the Israelites, when the Palestine forces stood facing each other, army against army, David left his things with the keeper of supplies and hurried out to the banquets to greet his brothers. As he was talking with them, Galilee and Palestine, a champion from Ghana, came out from the Philistine ranks. Then David heard him shout his usual taunt to the army of Israel. As soon as the Israelite army saw him, they began to run away in fight. Have you seen the gate? The man asked. He comes out each day to deprive Iceland. The king has offered a horse reward to anyone who kills him. He will give that man one of his daughters for wife. And the man's entire family will be exempted from paying tax. David asked the soldiers standing nearby, what will a man get for killing this Palestine and ending his defiance of Israel? Who is this pagan Palestine anyway, that he is allowed to deprive the armies of the living God? And this man gave David the same reply. They said, yes, that is the reward for killing him. But when David's oldest brother Eliab heard David talking to the man, he was angry. What are you doing around here anyway? What have I doing now? David replied. I was only asking a question. He walked over to some others and asked them the same thing, and received the same answer. Then David's question was reported to King Samuel, and the king sent for him. David kills Goliath. Don't worry about this Palestine divide. David told Saul, I will go fight him. Don't be ridiculous, Saul replied. There is no way you can fight this Palestine and possible win. You are only a boy, and he has been a man of war since his youth. But David persisted. I have been taking care of my father's sheep and goats, he said. When a lion or a deer comes to steal a lamb from the flock, I got after it with his club and rescued the lamb from its mouth. If the animal turns on me, I catch it by the jar and club it to death. I have done this to both lions and bears, and I will do it to this pagan Palestine too, for he has defined the enemies of the living God. The Lord who rescued me from the claws of the lion and the bear will rescue me from this Palestine. So finally consented. All right, go ahead, he said, and may the Lord be with you. Then Saul gave David his own armor, a bronze helmet, and a coat of mail. David put it on, strapped the sword over it, and took a step or two to see what it was like, for he had never worn such things before. I can't go in this, he protested to Saul. I'm not used to them. So David took them off again. He pick up 5 smooth stones from a stream and put them into his Stephen's bag. Then, armed only with this Stephen's staff and sling, he started across the valley to fight the Palestine. Goliath walked out toward David with his shield bearer away of him. Snarling in contempt at this ruddy-faced boy, "Am I a dog?" he roared at David. "Then you come at me with a stick." And he calls David by the names of his gods. "Come over here, and I will give your flesh to the birds and wild animals," Goliath yelled. David replied to the Philistine, "You come to me with sword, spear, and javelin, but I come to you in the name of the Lord of heaven's armies, the God of the enemies of the Israel, who you have defied. Today the Lord will conquer you, and I will kill you and cut off your head, and then I will give the dead bodies of your men to the birds and the wild animals, and the whole world will know that there is a God in Israel. And everyone assembled here will know, and the Lord rescued his people, but not with sword and spear. This is the Lord's battle, and he will give you to us." As Goliath moved close to attack, David quickly ran out to meet him. Reaching into his Stephen's bag and taking out a stone, he hurled it with his sling and hit the Palestine in the forehead. The stones sank in, and Goliath stumbled and fell face down on the ground. So David triumphed over the Palestine with only a sling and a stone, for they had no sword. Then David ran over and pulled Goliath's sword from its sheath. David used it to kill him and cut off his head. Israel lost the Philistines. When the Philistines saw that their champion was dead, they turned and ran. Then the men of Israel and Judah gave a great shout of triumph and rushed after the Palestine, chasing them as far as Ghana, and the gates of Clan, and bodies of the dead and wounded Palestine were strewn all along the road from Sararim as far as Ghana and Elkon. Then the Israelites army returned and plundered the destroyed the Philistine camp. David took the Palestinians head to Jerusalem, but he stole the men's armor in his own tent. As Saul watched David go out to fight the Palestine, he asked Abner, the commander of his army, "Abner, whose son is this young man?" I really don't know. Abner declared. Well, find out who he is, the king told him. As soon as David returned from killing Goliath, Abner brought him to Saul with the Philistines' head still in his head. Tell me about your father, young man, Saul said. And David replied, his name is Jesse, and we live in Bethlehem.